It's time for Swinging Blindly, the show where PJ and Blaze make their bold baseball predictions. Once in a while, they'll hit a home run. Sometimes they'll hit a grounder or fly ball somewhere, but most of the time, they're gonna swing and miss.
Strike three, you're out.
Here he is, stepping into the batter's box, the man with the plan, who roots for a team with a late legend named Stan. It's not unusual for him to lead off, PJ Geary. Welcome to another episode of Swinging Blindly, the fastest hour around Major League Baseball. I'm Blaze Bryant. I'm flying solo today as PJ Geary and we were unable to coordinate our schedules, which have been very busy lately. So for the next hour, you and we will listen back to some of our favorite clips from the few episodes that we have recorded so far. You can find us on social media, facebook.com/swingingblindlypodcast, and on Twitter @swingingblindly. Subscribe wherever you get your podcasts, and you can hear us as well, as you might very well be doing right now, via the Pacifica Radio Network of low-power FM radio stations. Let's start with episode 3, as there was some very exciting news both on a baseball and show front. I gotta say, this is our radio debut as well,
yes,
as we are now not only wherever you get your podcasts, but also on the Pacifica Radio Network. So.
Beautiful. It's a beautiful thing, and thank you for listening. All those big, small, wide, small, thin, whatever. I don't know. I probably shouldn't have said that. But anyway, we're swinging blindly, and we're off to a great start.
Community radio is like pennies in the jar. On the surface, it doesn't look like a lot, but there are a lot of stations. So it all kind of adds up in that way.
And you know what? That's a great way to put it. I mean, I stack my pennies and give it a couple weeks, and you got a good amount of money right in there. So
absolutely,
that's kind of what our shtick is. We're stacking pennies here on the Swinging Blindly podcast with PJ and Blaze. Thank you again for joining us, wherever and however you were listening to us.
Absolutely,
where we talk baseball. We're baseball nuts. We want to bring you our takes, whether or not how egregious or silly they may be. You know what? You'll come to find that we happen to be right a lot more of the time than we give ourselves credit for, Blaze. So
this is true.
This is true. And self-deprecation is a great thing to have in moderation, as is most things. So that's kind of the shtick. That's kind of the deal that you're going to get here on the Swinging Blindly podcast with PJ and Blaze.
Yeah, what was it? Mary Poppins said, a spoonful of sugar makes the medicine go down. Well, self-deprecation makes our egos go up, makes our egos go up. Makes our egos go up. Self-deprecation makes the egos go up. Oh.
You might even get some show tunes. So just keep your ears locked on to the Swinging Blindly podcast.
Yeah, the Swinging Blindly Show, which is a podcast. Again, you can subscribe wherever you get your podcast and listen via the Pacifica Radio Network. We do have social media. We're getting our Facebook page back up and running, facebook.com/Swinging Blindly Podcast, and on Twitter @Swinging Blindly. So we have a lot to get into. Let's get out of the box here, PJ.
Yes,
as the big story that has kind of come out over the past 24 hours or so is the fact that Major League Baseball has moved the All-Star game out of Atlanta because of Georgia's new voting law, which does disenfranchise people of color and also create a lot of access issues. MLB, I guess, has been getting a bunch of pushback on this sort of stuff, and because of that, they have decided to move the game. What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I mean, like you said, this is a very recent development in just the zeitgeist of the news in general. I think this is transcended because it's political, but it's transcended just baseball. Whereas this is a huge decision that's unprecedented. I mean, other than a pandemic, this is an unprecedented issue that has arisen where the location of an All-Star game that was already set in stone, or not clearly not in stone, but set, that has been moved due to political leanings and political offerings. Blaze, I don't really know much. I tried to do some research on it beforehand, and I do have a couple articles up, one through the New York Times, and then I also have one through Reuters, which is just some quotes that I kind of wanted to touch on.
Sure.
But I kind of wanted to, before I get into those, maybe I think you might be a little bit more learned, as they say, on exactly what is going on. Can you give the people and myself just a quick briefing onto how this is all kind of played out?
Well, the funny thing is, I'm really not that much more versed on this than you right now.
Yeah, because it did happen so recently. So I was just, I mean, I could go through it really quick if you want right now.
Sure.
Yeah, I mean, you kind of touched on it. It's clearly the connotations of the lessening rights to the people of color. Some have even. And again, we're not trying to get political here. We're just kind of trying to line it out for you. So opinions, whatever, like we're going to try and stick to the facts and quotes. But, from what I see, the law makes absentee voting harder. It can potentially help the general election. It shortens the runoff period, which is a lot of this seems to be a reaction to that state. Again, not to get too political, but that state losing, or being flipped, I guess would be the correct word, right?
Because they lost because there was a special election because neither of the candidates reached 50%. So I believe the way it panned out was they had to have a special election. And because of that, both Republican seats flipped. And Georgia has a Republican governor who is clearly ticked off. And as a result, this is the law that was put on the books unnecessarily. I mean, why are we denying access in 2021? I mean, pandemic notwithstanding, the fact is we are creating access issues. And you could make that argument, well, the MLB, they're leaning to the liberals, they're desperate to get the younger fan, all that stuff. I don't want to say that's an unfair argument because that is an argument that people will make. However, we all know the power of corporate sponsorships. And because of this, it is a move MLB had to make. This is not something that you stand your ground on, especially in a sport that is losing popularity because it has chosen to not adapt. Unlike the other sports, the NFL in particular, the NBA, NHL is still kind of in its own basement in terms of professional sports are concerned here in the U.S. But MLB was once America's pastime, and now it's America's next to last time. And that is the unfortunate reality that has gone on. So you know where I'm heading with this here?
No, I mean, you're spot on. And again, I think you said that, I think you put that very well, just for the people listening. And you kind of touched on it a little bit, but really what it is it empowers the state legislature. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that correct or not.
Yeah, the legislature. Yep.
Thank you. Basically it removes the Secretary of State as chair of the State Board of Elections and allows the legislature to appoint a majority of the board's members, including the chair. So if there are certain leanings there that go against certain things, then this is where the problems arise. There is no real language in there there's no language in it that specifically outlines people of color, but it just seems to be the overlying indication is that this is that's just it has for lack of a better term, it has a dark cloud over it.
A lot of racial and ethnic subliminal undertones here within the legislation. And look, MLB has made the decision. Yeah. I support it. I absolutely do.
No, same. I mean, I don't see how there's a way that you can't. And if you're before we kind of get through it, I had a couple of quotes here on both sides if you wanted to hear them and then maybe just give your quick 2 cents about them. I'll just pick a couple of the big ones here. We had California Governor Gavin Newsom tweeting, "Hey, at MLB, feel free to give us a call. In California, we actually work to expand voter access, not prevent it." And then opposed by that was Republican Senator Lindsey Graham. "What a pathetic and weak decision by at MLB to give in to the radical left's false attack on Georgia voting laws. I hope the people of Georgia remember this in 2022 when they will have a chance to check/stop the Biden agenda in the Georgia U.S. Senate race."
Well, Lindsey Graham can shut up because South Carolina doesn't have a professional baseball team.
I know I keep repeating, don't want to get political, but these are people who have put themselves not only on the political scale, but also somewhat of a celebrity scale.
Well, everything is tied to politics. The lines between sports and politics have become so blurred, good, bad, or indifferent. I think there's a time for it. I think there's a place, but this is a move MLB absolutely had to make, no question about it.
Yeah, exactly. And I have a couple more here, if you don't mind just hearing them out real quick. The Atlanta Braves. So this was actually something that, and I know you're not a Met fan, but that got a reaction straight off of Twitter from a current player. The Atlanta Braves, their immediate response was just, quote, "The Atlanta Braves are deeply disappointed by the decision of Major League Baseball to move its 2021 All-Star Game. This was neither our decision nor our recommendation." And in response, New York Mets pitcher Marcus Stroman reacted, "The worst, quote, the worst press release of all time," end quote. Any thoughts there? He kind of just, just let him have it, I guess.
But why even say anything?
I know. It's just, it adds to what should probably be less of a thing. It's a thing because it's unprecedented, right? I mean, it's something that's, at least in our lifetime, has never happened.
Yeah, well, everything is just so fueled right now. You have the Derek Chauvin trial going on right now and the George Floyd murder. And you have all this other stuff that's happening, and sports and politics are just so melded together right now. And, it's, again, I'm glad that MLB had the courage to make the move that they did. So the question then becomes, where are they going to play?
Yeah, and I have a couple of thoughts on that. Yeah, I don't want to get to. I was reading a couple more of those quotes, and I figure we could move on. To this is, so I saw something recently about, and I believe it was either the governor or just somebody in power politically in the Milwaukee area came out and said, Hank Aaron's passing, move it to Milwaukee, do a tribute to Hank Aaron. Some of the other Lou Brocks, the Bob Gibsons, do a kind of a tribute thing in a kind of a more of a neutral, quote unquote, site is what I would kind of say. And that would be my guess. I mean, I read the California quote there. Because the Dodgers are slated to host it in 2022, MLB has already come out and said that they will not move up the Dodgers, take Dodger Stadium hosting it for this year. They'll keep 2022. But I think the other option would then be showcase that we say all the time here, showcase the greatest player of this generation and move it not to Dodger Stadium, but Angels. I mean, you have another California team, maybe do that. It's an AL NL type deal, so it wouldn't cloud those up. I know so they would be going from an NL team to an AL team, and then they would have an NL team next year host it. But at this point, I think everything's up in the air, and to me, those are the Brewers. Number one would be the most logical, just to kind of bring it back to baseball and baseball's history.
Yeah, I mean, although Hank Aaron did his damage. He had most of his success in Atlanta, not in Milwaukee.
Well, yes, but
Lou Brock had all of his success in St. Louis.
But that was a clearly this was going to be set up in Atlanta had it stayed in Atlanta with Hank Aaron's passing.
No question about it.
You kind of pivot to his other team of success, and I'd bring up the Lou Brocks and Bob Gibsons, and just for the elephant in the room. I mean, this is that they're moving out for certain political reasons that I'm not necessarily at liberty to just say.
Right.
But maybe you kind of just, I mean, these are legends of the game that deserve to be honored in some way. So I think they have to figure out a way to get that. I mean, hey, I named 2 Cardinals there, right? No disrespect to Hank Aaron at all, but
no,
we lost Lou Brock and Bob Gibson, 2 legends of the game. Move it to St. Louis. I'm good with that.
Yeah, I mean, I think either Milwaukee or St. Louis would be really cool.
Yeah.
St. Louis, in my opinion, actually kind of creates a better optic because you have Bud Selig, who has all the ties to Milwaukee, former owner of the Brewers and whatnot. And, it could be kind of viewed that way that, let's bring Bud Selig back into the spotlight. And would he overshadow Hank Aaron? I would think the answer to that is no, but you could see where that argument would be made.
Well, and current owner of the Marlins and former Yankee legend,
the great Derek Jeter. Yeah.
Thank you. Also came out and kind of in support of baseball's decision, but also kind of threw their name in the hat as a possible destination down there in Florida where everything's just kind of okay, hunky dory, I guess.
Yeah, I thought about that too. Another place I thought about as well would be Texas with Globe Life Park, that new park. But then again, I remembered, oh, that's right, they had the World Series there in the pandemic bubble, if you will.
Yep.
Another option could be San Diego.
Yeah, another California. You're right. Just keep it in California for that matter. So, yeah, I honestly, I think the 5 about stadiums we just named or teams, that's probably the most likely. I think if they're the ones that came to our minds first, not to say that we're experts or anything, we just gab about baseball blindly, but I think those are probably the top 5 destinations. I mean, I don't see it coming to New York. I don't see it coming to. I don't see it coming to Philly. I don't see it coming to Boston. I think you kind of either got to go directly south, directly west, or kind of keep it in the Midwest area, like similarly to. I know Georgia's not Midwest, but
right, but you
know what I'm saying.
Although the other thing to consider too is you do have to have it in a space where it's going to be larger than Atlanta because it's easier to scale it versus shrinking it. So there is that factor too.
Yeah. And that's a brand new stadium they got there in Atlanta as well. So that obviously comes into play when they make these decisions.
I mean, it would have been great. It would have been not good. It would have been flat out great if the All-Star game were to happen in Atlanta, because that city hasn't really had a big event since the Olympics in '96.
Which also had a little bit of
that had its own controversies around that. Bombing and all that stuff. Yeah.
I mean, Atlanta has had a rough go about it in sports, in their entire sports existence. So that would have been a nice win in a way, especially with such a good Braves team that they've got, as we've outlined here.
Well, it turns out they moved the game to Colorado. The MLB All-Star ballot voting is going on, and we'll see who makes it in and who does not, as the All-Star game is sneaking up on us here in just a couple of weeks. And we move on to episode 4. Our first guest, Brett Monroe, joined the show. Brett, like me, is a Yankee fan. And, well, we were having some Yankee talk, which led me to a very hot take, which, by the way, I still stand behind. If the Yankees don't make the ALCS, both Brian Cashman and Aaron Boone need to go. And I mean that wholeheartedly, because you look at the moves that Brian Cashman has made, they're not matching up with the way the game is being played today. And Aaron Boone is just not resonating with these players.
I'm writing that down right now, please.
I don't know if I can agree with you about that. I think Cashman has made some
thing to Girardi 4 years ago.
Yeah. No, I mean there is precedent. I just don't. I think Cashman has made some good moves. I mean, the Urshela deal was good. The Voit deal has paid off. I mean, Voit led the league in home runs last year.
Okay, You know what? Look, the Urshela deal, yeah, that was a diamond in the rough. The Voit deal, that's paid off well for both teams.
Shout out Cardinals.
But Brett, who else? LeMahieu, yes, okay, that was a damn good Groupon, and they needed to re-sign him. Absolutely, no question about it. But who else? In the past 5 years, name me someone who has really taken this team and made them next level, aside from the people that we've already mentioned.
Well, I thought that they didn't re-sign him, but I thought the Didi Gregorius signing was excellent.
Okay.
I mean, he's not on the team right now, but to come in and effectively replace Jeter, I think he did a good job defensively, offensively, heart and soul kind of guy. He was good. They didn't re-sign him. He had injury concerns, age concerns. Torres, his natural position was supposed to be shortstop, so there was reasons there.
Yeah,
I mean, they have a ton of money, so they signed Garrett Cole. So I can't give him a ton of credit for that one. You just threw the bag at him. But
okay, Giancarlo. Yeah, but it came down to
the Stanton trade was not smart.
It was dumb, and they traded Giancarlo Stanton and did that over re-signing Didi Gregorius. Who in their right mind does that as a general manager?
Can I chime in real quick?
Yeah.
First of all, very happy that Stanton said no to the Cardinals. And I just want to say, too, just to throw this in there for you guys, and I think, Brett, just for both of you, to Blaze's point about if no ALCS, Boone and especially Cashman need to go, for everything good Cashman has done, you have one World Series in 12 years.
Yep.
You've been to one World Series in 12 years. So, I mean, it's the Yankees. How long will somebody have?
I think Cashman still has more leash than Yankee fans really want to admit.
That's fair.
I personally don't think – I think if they don't make the ALCS, I don't think it's a case of Boone and Cashman need to go. I think it's time to start thinking about how you blow up this team and rebuild it. It's because at this point, it would just be insanity to keep running out this team each and every year. But how they go about reconstructing it, I don't know, because they have a lot of money tied up in Stanton. No one's going to take on that contract. So even if someone traded for him, the Yankees would probably still have to eat a lot of that salary. You're going to be paying Cole a bunch of money. But other than that, you don't have a ton of guys making a lot of money on this team. I think you need to look at and explore ideas and how you approach building a team, because a bunch of right-handed home run hitters just doesn't seem to be working.
Okay, what's the definition of insanity?
It's doing the same
over and over
thing
again.
That's
and expecting a different result. Yeah,
that's why Boone and Cashman need to go, in my opinion.
Thank you, Blaze. That's kind of what I was getting at.
That's why they need to go, and I'm not disagreeing with you, Brett, at all. I'm just simply exclaiming the point by saying that these guys cannot continue to be the decision makers because if they are left to make the decisions, they're going to do the same gosh darn thing.
Yeah, but the thing is, if you let go of Cashman, he's probably going to sign a deal with another team within 48 hours.
So,
I mean,
yeah.
What I'm saying is, I don't think.
Who cares?
That I'm not saying I care about that. I'm saying I don't think he's a bad decision maker. I don't know if having Boone and Cashman walk away actually fixes anything with the Yankees.
This might be a pipe dream, and I don't know if the Steinbrenners would even consider it, but man, would a GM position on the Yankees probably entice a certain former GM of the Red Sox and the Cubs to maybe come back to being a GM. I don't know.
Theo Epstein?
I don't know.
I don't know if I could handle Theo. I don't know if I could.
I don't know if the Steinbrenners would, but if they would, they have the bag. I don't know.
Yeah, but here's the thing, though. Hal.
I love this. This is awesome.
Wait, it's Hal, right?
Yeah. Hal.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
I couldn't remember which H brother was dead. I couldn't for a second.
That's fair.
Hal is not his dad.
True. Very true.
We have to remember that as Yankee fans.
Well, and okay, so I know, and I've loved it, and I think the people will love it and have loved it as well.
Well, I think we've got more now that I opened up that Pandora.
I know. It's like I'm fine with talking to the Yankees. I love listening to you guys talk about them. To be honest with you, like two diehard fans.
What do you want to do?
Well, let me wait. Hold on. Let me. I just want to offer this because just to a little bit more conversation. Like you said, Blaze, how is not George? Would Cashman already have been gone if George was still alive?
Yes.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you. That's the point I'm trying to get across. Is if that is a fact, you have to think that's in the back of Hal's mind.
I don't know if that's a fact. I don't know.
Yes, that is ridiculous.
Okay.
In Steinbrenner's lifetime, all they did was win.
Well, not really. I mean,
not in the beginning. But.
No. It took 25 years for them to really have success.
Took him getting suspended and kicked out of baseball.
Well, I mean, there was all sorts of stuff there.
Yeah.
But Brett, to you're saying to PJ that it's not so much. You're not sure if that's so much fact. Why do you think that?
Yeah.
Well, it's not like Cashman wasn't around when George was around,
right?
No, of course. I know that.
So, but
they won.
Look, I get that. I get that. To Yankee fans, winning the World Series is the only thing that matters, and maybe in George's eyes, that's the only winning that matters either. But it's not like this team has been bad. They haven't even been sub 500. They haven't had a non-winning season since the early 90s. They've won 203 games over, between 2018 and 2019. Both those years they won over 100. Like, they've done a lot of winning. They just haven't won the World Series. So if you started piling up sub 500 seasons, yeah, Cashman would be gone, but that's not even the case. They're in the hunt every single year. It's just they haven't been able to win the big one. So they are winning. They're just not winning World Series.
Yeah,
but it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
This, though, we have to remember that there are 3 teams in all professional sports who are on one standard and everyone else is on the other. Those 3 teams are the New York Yankees, the New England Patriots, and the Los Angeles Lakers. That is the reality. Mm-hmm. Those 3 teams are on one standard that is higher than everyone else's.
Well, I take a little bit of an exception to that, but I'll let you continue.
What exception do you take?
The Cardinals. The Cardinals, as a fan of the Cardinals, they're if you're talking about winning championships is the only standard. The Cardinals' way is win champ. If it's not a championship, it's bust.
Yeah,
because there's another team who hasn't had a losing record in over 100 years.
I'm talking dynastically, though.
Oh, wait. You're gonna have to explain that because I still have exception.
Like in terms of a dynasty, okay. Lakers, you know what?
Oh. Okay.
I'll even put the Celtics.
The Warriors.
Well, I mean, to me, the Warriors are a dynasty.
But no, okay. I know what you're saying. Okay, I get it.
Yeah.
The only 3 franchises that have ever had quote unquote dynasties.
Well, I mean, yes. And I left off the Celtics, completely forgetting that
that's true.
Dynasty really was about 50 years ago.
Yeah, no. Okay, I understand what you're saying now. You're not talking about the culture of the team. You're just saying the teams that have had dynasties in sports.
Well, I mean, and that leads to the culture, Brett, does it not?
Well, I mean, it does.
Yeah,
and the culture for the Cardinals.
And the Jordan Bulls.
The Cardinals 04 to 06. I mean, that's 3 years, right?
That's long enough.
What do you mean? What's long enough then? What is a dynasty? 3, 4 years? How many years do you need a dynasty?
A dynasty is at least 5.
5 straight championships or 5 straight years being in the championship?
5 straight years being in the championship.
Well, then I wouldn't even call the
Is that
Lakers
a thing?
I wouldn't even call the Lakers a dynasty.
Do the Yankees
I guess the only in the NBA that would mean to me that
Yankees didn't even make 5
LeBron
straight
James is the dynasty.
Well, I mean, maybe even the Spurs.
Lakers had a lot of bad seasons too. I mean, they did win with, Kobe and Shaq, but then there was some down period. Then Kobe and Powell. Then they were bad again.
Yankees had 4 and 5 years.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then they lost in 03.
Right.
And 01.
Well, they lost in 01 too, but.
Oh, 01. Oh, God. I mean, we can't. I mean, that was the only bad throw Mariano Rivera made in his life. I mean, let's be real. That throw.
I guess you're right. I still take exception because my Cardinals are.
Well, and I'm not saying that you shouldn't take exception to that. I
should.
Maybe, truthfully, the better example to use in the NBA is the San Antonio Spurs.
Yes.
Really, when you really brass tacks it out.
Yeah.
All I'm saying is that because of all the winning the Yankees have done in their franchise, and when you look at the last quarter century, there's been a lot of winning. So because of that, and the Patriots are held to this regard too in the NFL, there is a certain standard that they have set for themselves. And I think that, and look, I'm normally not one of those Yankee fans that says, fire the manager, fire the general manager. The Joe Torre firing made me cry because of how callously it was done. And the Joe Girardi one made no gosh darn sense to me. And I don't think this team has recovered since. And the only reason why Joe Girardi was fired is because this franchise has viewed Gary Sanchez as this pretty boy when his results as a defensive catcher have been ugly, as well perceived as his image has been.
Well, it's hard to say that the Yankees didn't recover when after Girardi left, they won 100 games in back-to-back seasons.
They had the team to do that, though.
Yeah, but so how much credit can you give Girardi if they won 100 games without him?
Look,
my question is just how much worse can Boone really be? That's why I take a little bit exception. Are Boone and Cashman the problem? I don't know. I guess the roster that Cashman has put together is a problem.
Yes,
but I also think that he could blow it up and build it again. I don't think you need to bring in someone else to rebuild I think Cashman is capable of rebuilding the roster. I'm saying. I would trust Cashman to blow it up and rebuild it without replacing him in the front office.
Okay, you have more faith in Cashman than I do. I'm saying that if Cashman goes, Boone has to go too, because if you get rid of the general manager, that clock by proxy starts ticking on the manager, because the GM is going to invariably look for reasons to bring in their own person.
Bring in his own guy, yep.
Yeah. We see that across all sports.
Right, right.
So not gonna argue with you on that one.
Right. Over the past 10 years, Brian Cashman has made enough decisions to at least warrant questions about his job security. While there have been a few good ones, the bad ones have been piling up. I mean, the bad one, not re-signing Didi Gregorius, the Jacoby Ellsbury contract. Let's not forget about that albatross. The Giancarlo Stanton deal is right near that albatross. I get it. The Stanton one is more money, but Stanton was actually, playing. And look at, we let Starling Castro go to the Marlins.
Yeah, but Castro wouldn't be on this team anymore, regardless if they had traded him for Giancarlo or not. Castro wouldn't be on this team.
Well, be that as it may.
Because I think you still would have wanted
the team composition,
who's the way better player.
No question about it that DJ LeMahieu's a better player than Starling Castro. But all I'm saying is we traded away pieces that would have made us more flexible to get better quality assets at the expense of a $325 million player who can't play the outfield, strikes out a gazillion times. I mean, look, Giancarlo Stanton epitomizes the swinging blindly show, right? Does he not?
Doesn't he also lead the Yankees in RBIs this year?
Big deal. 15 RBIs or 15 games.
Yeah, but still a leader in an important category.
Yeah, 15, bro.
I mean, it's not a great number. It's just
this bit of, I love talking Yankee baseball with you, Brett, over the past 45 minutes.
Yes.
But man, that is straw grasping, my friend. That is straw.
Yeah, maybe.
I've got to call you out on that.
Yeah, I just, yeah. I'm not saying the Stanton trade was good, but I mean, you basically traded a bucket of balls to get him. I mean, the contract is the worst part of the deal, obviously.
What's he been?
But
what's he been?
I'll look it up. His first year he played 150 games.
But they haven't won, Brett. That's the thing. Okay,
I guess the difference is I'm a Yankee fan that is not a boom or bust championship Yankee fan.
I'm not either, but I am at that point.
Not to mention that they possibly got robbed in 2017 by the cheating Astros.
Oh, there's no question about it that they got robbed by the disgrace by the Houston minivan Astros.
They still would have had to win the World Series, though. Just want that to be.
I'm not saying that they would have won it. I'm just saying at least you would have had an appearance.
Well, and then Altuve with the buzzer and Chapman. I mean, that whole deal. It just, all I'm saying is this, that I can't have these people making these decisions for my team much longer without the results being the same. I guess only time will tell because the Yankees have been such a streaky team. Let's move on to episode 5. PJ and we were talking about how things used to be in Major League Baseball, which was spurred on by this 1991 clip from Oakland A's radio involving Ricky Henderson, as the question was he going to break a certain stolen base record?
The A's having come from behind a 1-0 deficit. Ricky goes, a pitch taken, he's going to have it. He does! Ricky Henderson, no contest, steals third base, jerks the bag from its moorings, and holds it aloft, representing number 939.
That was the late Bill King on the call A's radio from May 1st of 1991 as Ricky Henderson broke Lou Brock's record. 939 stolen bases. And he wasn't done yet. And it's just, and I wanted to play the clip, PJ. Feel free to come back on and whatnot here. It's really just absolutely incredible because that's a part of the game that we don't see hardly at all anymore.
Yeah. Wait, can you hear me?
I've got you loud and clear. Yeah.
Okay, cool. Dude. Yeah, you're talking about stolen bases. Yeah, especially how often do we see a stolen base of third? That doesn't happen anymore. Yeah. They don't steal third base anymore. And that's what he did, and it was iconic. That's an iconic, and that was actually really cool hearing the call of it because, I've seen the image so many times of him with the bat. When he holds the base above his head like that. Just to hear that call though, and you could feel the importance. And as you said, it's a part of the game that we just don't see anymore. It stinks. It really does.
Yeah, and another reason why I wanted to play that clip is to really kind of say and have the action speak louder than the words that I would say, which is when baseball is when the A's are well, baseball is better.
Yes. Great. 100%, please. Dude, I remember, and I'm sure you do too, because we were the same age and, the same, we're cut from the same cloth, baseball.
Yeah, we really are, yeah.
The 01, the early 2000s A's.
The Hudson, Mulder, Zito, the big three.
Oh, man. And people, they talk about the pitching of that team, but then you had Chavez, you had
Hatteberg.
You had, yeah.
You had Jose Guillen.
Oh, wow. That's a pull.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, the A's, when they're good, like they just always seem to be one of the funner teams to like pay attention to.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. You had Mark Kotze. You had Mark Ellis.
Oh, Kotze. What a pull, too.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah, man.
And, I mean, and Moneyball with the Hatterbergs and all that. Hollywood, kind of embellished a little bit, but still, one of my favorite movies is Moneyball.
Yeah, and how they had that 20-game win streak in 2001.
That's something I said. But okay, but
or was it 2002?
We're done. We're done with the division. So let me throw this to you before we kind of get into a couple of the things. I don't know if we're ever gonna see. I don't think I thought for some reason I think I had a dream that I talked to you about this. So if we didn't, now we're getting to do it. So my dream's coming true. That I don't know if we're ever gonna see an MLB team win 20 games in a row ever again. I really don't think that'll ever happen.
It's tough. I agree with you, just because of all the access to information that is out there now that didn't exist, hell, even 10 years ago.
Yes. It's just not a thing that I just it's impossible when it happened. I don't know if you remember when the 07 Rockies, they went on their like crazy tear. I think they won like 20 in like 23 days or something like that.
Yeah.
Something crazy. Yeah.
Yeah.
And they made the World Series. It's Matt Holliday, all them. Yeah.
Yeah. They carried it all the way through to the, to the postseason, swept all their series, and then got swept by the Red Sox. All that time off. That time off absolutely took them out of their rhythm. They were they had no shot after the end of game one. They had no shot.
I know.
Of coming back in that series. It was terrible.
I hate the Red Sox.
Yeah,
they're my second.
Me too. Yeah,
I know.
I mean, they're my least favorite team without a question.
I root for Matt Barnes.
Sure, rightly so. And just to kind of tie back in the A's into the conversation, remember Keith Folk was their closer in 2003.
Yeah, you're talking about the Red Sox.
No, Keith Folk was the closer for the A's in 2003, and then after that season, 2004, he went to the Red Sox.
Yes, thank you. Okay. Oh wow, he was on the A's.
Yeah.
Oh, geez. Yeah, because that name was so familiar because he beat my Cardinals, but whatever.
Yeah.
Thanks for that. Thanks for that, please. Whatever.
Well, and then like that 03 stands out to me so prominently because I'm sitting there with my grandparents, which both of them have they've since passed, but the
R.I.P.
Absolutely. And I had the radio on. They had the TV on. Like we had this whole thing because we enjoyed baseball, and they had this clock radio type thing, and I had that on. They had the TV muted. We're listening to we're watching the Red Sox A's game. We're thinking, all right, because Oakland took the first two games at home. We're thinking, all right, great, because we absolutely despise Boston. My late grandmother, huge Yankee fan like I am. And or I should say, I'm a huge Yankee fan like she was, because she was a Yankee fan long before
her.
Well, I wouldn't say I got it from her, but
I know.
She was a Yankee fan first by plenty, and we don't need instant replay for that review. But and just seeing how the Red Sox just looked absolutely lifeless, and then they went back and they won the 2 games at Fenway, and then Derek Lowe with the bad he had some sort of injury. I'm drawing a complete blank on it. It ultimately, Ken Maka decided not to go with a 4-man rotation, and that move, because Oakland ended up losing that Game 5 in Oakland, that ruined his baseball career as a manager. Yeah. He was done.
And was that still the Zito, Mulder?
That was the big
Hudson?
3. Yeah.
And they had, they also had Rich Harden.
Yeah, but Harden wasn't.
Dan Herron.
Right.
Yeah.
But those guys, it was just Hudson, Mulder, Zito.
Yeah,
Ken Maka had so much confidence in those three guys alone.
If he had gone to 4, you never know.
Right. I mean, because both Harden and Aaron at that point, both perfectly capable of getting people out.
Can I add, I mean, there's a couple of moments in Cardinal history that I think we'll touch on one before we end this episode. But I'm curious because you talked 03. I mean, that's Marlins Yankees World Series, whatnot. What was your experience with the Boone home run?
Oh,
I know where I was.
God.
Growing up in a Yankee family, I know exactly where I was when Boone hit that walk-off. Can you just speak on that? Like what your experience was?
Vividly. Absolutely vividly.
Awesome. That's awesome. I want to hear this.
So I'm sitting upstairs in my room at my mom's house, and I'm listening to the game and whatnot, and the whole thing back and forth, and I had to be quiet. Like I couldn't wake anyone up. But my sister,
similar experiences,
right? And my sister, who cared nothing about baseball, could tell how excited and jacked up I was because, of course, I mean, this is Game 7 of 03, and it went into extra innings.
Yeah.
Back when you actually had to earn your runs in extra innings. God, that rule needs to go.
Another conversation for another day.
Well, no, we just had it, and it's just. And then Aaron Boone hits that home run.
Tim Wakefield. Yep, they threw Tim Wakefield in. He throws that juicy knuckleball.
Yep. Oh, it was.
It was.
And that was what a series. Like, people forget how actually epic of a series that was.
They forget about it because of the next year, but yes.
Well, no, they forget about it because of that one moment.
True.
But
and the next year.
Remember the whole thing with Don Zimmer and Pedro like throwing Don Zimmer to the ground.
Yes. I mean, I'll never. 04. I'll obviously never forget. We're tied at the hip with 04. I mean, both of our dreams were shattered.
04 is why we're doing this show right now.
Yes, exactly. We wouldn't be able to do. You know how close we were to a Cardinals Yankees World Series in 04? So close. Oh wait, you do know because you were a game away for 4 games, but that's besides the point.
I'm about to end the Zoom meeting.
I'm sorry. That was really mean
to
me. I didn't mean to do that.
I
know, that was really mean.
I get it. Your team is in the lead. Your team has the best record in the National freaking League. So you have team privilege right now, and you're flaunting it. I understand. I can't fault you too much for it.
No, I didn't do it on purpose. But I have to tell you this, please. And I was going to say this. I was going to save it for when we're off air. But
yeah,
this has been this has been so good so far. Just not to toot our own horns, but this has been great.
Indeed, Ricky broke that record. This has been great. And one of the many reasons why I love doing shows with PJs because, well, we can go off on these little tangents and that sort of thing. On to episode 6, we introduced a new segment where, for our Homer Minutes, myself with the Yankees and PJ with the Cardinals, we play an audio clip and, well, talk about it. But before we did, Brett Monroe joined us again. Always good to have him on. He asked PJ about this.
It's the loss of flaherty, right?
Well, no, I don't know. He went out. He hasn't been gone. I think he's only missed 1 start so far. It's the walks, man. It's They lead the league in walks and hit batsmen, especially the bullpen, which was so good in the early goings of the season, and now it's just hard to. It's getting very, very difficult.
Well, I mean, here's what Mike Schilt had to say. This is from the other day after a 5-2 loss. Was it a tough pill to swallow?
I don't think there's any question. We've tried to navigate the balance of rest and competition and communicating with the guys, and we've got a healthy communication system. And but nonetheless, you're talking about it's just fact, not excuse. You're talking about, a lot of baseball, and a lot of interesting time zones and hours and game times, but winners find solutions, and that's what we'll continue to do.
And I thought my manager was clueless.
Oh man, the only thing I liked was the end with the winners find solutions. But yeah, he's just going around in circles there. I don't know. I'm a big Schilt guy. I think he's a player's coach. I'm not after his head right now. It's just when you give enough free passes away like they're doing, it's just like the double plays. When you're giving up 2 outs, 55 times, that's how many outs, 100 plus outs, 110 plus outs, or no, it's exactly 110 outs. And if you're giving, I believe the Cardinals have walked just under 200 guys so far. It's June.
Well, I mean, Oprah gave out cars. Cardinal pitchers are giving out walks like she did cars. It's really incredible.
Right. I actually read a tweet there the other day. Somebody used that exact line. You get a walk. It's ridiculous. It's very, very frustrating right now. I'm not lost. I've definitely been pretty dramatic over the last couple of days about it. Losing 5 in a row, especially just getting swept by the Reds here, 4-game series. The Cardinals haven't been swept at home in a 4-game series since 2008. So it's tough. So,
well, Brett and I know how that feels.
Yeah, no, I think all three of us are kind of in the same boat right now. And I think, see, I don't even know what the solution would be. He says winners find solutions. I don't, because the offense just hasn't been producing, which I think they're a good enough offense that will turn it around. Yeah, the loss of Flaherty is really rough, Brett, and I think it's going to be a lot longer than they're even letting on right now, whereas I think they have to make a move, and they've already said that they're looking elsewhere outside of the organization for help, which I hope means that they're doing their due diligence on Scher's dog. I don't know. I have no solution. So
now, how much would they benefit from a trade for a player like Aroldis Chapman?
No, they don't need a Chapman. I mean, Alex Reyes has been one of the more dominant closing.
But imagine if you can move him to the 8th inning.
No, first of all, I personally wouldn't want Aroldis Chapman, so I would not want.
I'm only talking about his play on the field, but
I don't know, no, because I wouldn't want him to take Reyes' spot. I think I like Reyes being the closer. He's been dominant, and he has the stuff to do that. Now the bullpen is good. Like, it's talented. It's just they're walking so many guys. Like, I don't know. It's a very talented, electric. There's a lot of quick, fast arms. Jordan Hicks going down certainly also gets into that. The left-handed side of the bullpen hasn't. Andrew Miller was gone for a little bit. He's just back, so maybe that kind of corrects itself. But
where's he at this stage in his career, though?
Been good for the last couple of years. I'm still here on board for Andrew Miller. He's getting hurt a little bit more, getting up there, but I'm here for Miller on the so far, and then they don't really have any other options. So I guess a lefty, yeah. Obviously Chapman is a lefty, but
it was just an example of a bullpen, because it sounds like to me, I don't get to watch a ton of Cardinals baseball. It sounds like the bullpen is comprised of a lot of throwers, not a lot of pitchers.
Yeah. I don't know.
I mean, that's kind of how Major League Baseball bullpens are built now, is a bunch of guys throwing 97.
It's certainly not It's certainly not our 8th and 9th inning guys. It's a lot of the middle guys that just don't have the command. Yeah, exactly. That just don't have the command right now. And when we had talked last, not even just when we had last said you on Brett, last time, Blaze, that me and you did this, the Cardinals bullpen was statistically one of the best in baseball. So fast forward to now, and it's just completely fallen apart. And I mean, granted, I thought today when I woke up, I was like, they've lost 8 games in a row. They stink, and then it was only 4, and then they lost today, so 5 in a row, 6 of the last 7, which is a little bit worse. But sometimes you dramatize it, and
you could lose 9 of your last 12.
That quote, that clip though, definitely had me rolling my eyes. I will say.
That's where the loss of Flaherty comes in, though. That one guy that can sort of come in, put his foot down on a losing streak.
That's where Scherzer would be perfect. Let's just not.
I mean, without Garrett Cole, the Yankees would be in a way worse position right now. Actually, with most of their starting pitching.
I guess misery loves company. Both of our teams were struggling, or all three of our teams were struggling. Well, we'll see what happens with our New York Yankees and St. Louis Cardinals. This clip from episode 5, to me, certainly epitomizes the relationship PJ and I have. We were talking about no-hitters, and a certain team made history. You had, what was his name for the Padres? Musgrove. Yeah, Joe Musgrove. Yeah. I mean, the first one in Padres history. You know,
he'll never pay for a beer in San Diego ever again.
Nor should he, and they have really good beer out there.
Yeah, there was a thing too. Oh man,
some of the best IPAs.
I kind of want to find it. There was some like place named something after him. Oh man, I'm not gonna be able to find it now.
The Musgrove Mule.
Yeah, was that it?
I don't know, but
but if that was, I mean, that was amazing on your part.
I mean, but if it's not, it's still amazing on my part. That it just popped right in.
It was something like that. He, as you said, should never pay for a drink. He should have the amount of babies that are gonna pop out in like 8 months named Joe is incredible. We'll have to track that for the people.
Or have Musgrove as a middle name.
People getting creative out there.
Speaking of being creative, albeit in a very different sense, pitchers are going to start to need to exercise their creative muscles, if you will, as the spider tack substance is going away. They will be checked starters twice and relievers once. And if it's found that there is some sticky stuff on the ball, they'll be ejected and suspended for 10 games. Well, that does it. This hour has flown by, as it always does here on the best of Swinging Blindly. Like us on Facebook at facebook.com/Swinging Blindly Podcast. On Twitter at Swinging Blindly. You can subscribe wherever you get your podcasts. And keep telling your community radio stations about us so that they can pick us up on the Pacifica network of low-power FM stations. For PJ Geary, I'm Blaze Bryant. We will be back in 2 weeks. And in between now and then, we're going to swing and miss. We really don't care.